evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Meet Touchstone Essentials Live. I'm Craig Daly. I'm the Vice President of Global Sales for Touchstone Essentials, and excited to be with you here tonight, along with Cindy Klement, our product trainer this evening. She's going to take us through and talk about 3 specific products. So we're going to start talking about specific product and do specific product training. We're going to talk about Super Green Juice. We're going to talk about Super Protein. And we're going to talk about Boost. So we're excited about those products and to learn a little bit more. You'll remember, if you'll go to the next slide, Cindy, who Cindy is and her credentials and what she brings. Cindy is, she's got a master's degree in nutrition. She's an herbalist, an adjunct professor. She's the person that teaches the doctors all about nutrition. And she's been in this business for over 40 years. She knows her stuff. She's a wonderful friend of mine. And I'm just excited to have her here, and we're excited all to learn from you, Cindy. So we'll turn the time over to you.
That sounds great. Hello, everybody. I'm really excited to be here tonight. I'm so excited about these products. The more I look at the ingredients and do a little bit of research on what makes up these products, I'm just so impressed. And another thing that I really like is that Touchstone Essentials only has a handful of products, less than a dozen products. And yet some companies have 500, 600 products or more. And when that occurs, it's really difficult for a new person coming in to know what to use, or for a practitioner to suggest something to someone. So I love the products that they're simple to understand, and yet they're so intricately designed and put together that are going to support your health in ways that you may have never expected. So this whole series that we've put together is going to kind of spell it out for you and provide information that's going to be really easy to continue to share with your members. So let's get started. As Craig mentioned, we're going to be talking this evening about the organic super protein, the super green juice, as well as the Boost. All right, so let's start. First of all, we're going to talk about plant protein, of course, but I want to first back up and talk about animal protein. Because folks, there's good meat and there's good dairy, and there's bad meat and bad dairy. And we have to ask, when we're using animal products, we really have to ask ourselves, what was that animal fed? Was it fed growth hormones? Was it fed antibiotics? Was it fed this chemical mash that so many of the animals eat? Also, was it raised in captivity? Was it raised so that it had free range and was out in the sunlight? So those are important things to know. But also, and of course, meat is high in protein, and that's going to help promote our muscle growth. Meat is also rich in vitamin B12, and that's needed to make our red blood cells. It's a good source of zinc and selenium and iron. But folks, Dr. Frank Hugh, who is the chair of the Department of Nutrition at Harvard University, he says that we do not need to eat animal products to get these essential nutrients. In fact, here's his quote. He says, you can get the same amounts of nutrients, and in some cases, even more of these nutrients, by following a plant-based diet. So something else to think about when we're getting our protein from animal products, well, especially meat. Depending on the way you cook it or prepare it, it can negatively affect your health. So for instance, even though we love the taste of it, when it's grilled, when it's barbecued, when meat is smoked at these high temperatures, what happens is the fat, of course, is released and it drips down into the hot cooking surfaces. And when it does that, believe it or not, a toxic compound is formed. And this toxic compound is called, it's a big word, or a long sentence, polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, and we call them PHAs. Now, when that happens, when that fat drips down and forms this toxic substances, the smoke seeps back up into the meat, and of course you eat it. These PHAs Our PAHs are carcinogenic, meaning that they can contribute to the cause of cancer in our bodies. And there's another carcinogenic substance called heterocyclic aromatic amines. Okay, another one, HAH. And they are formed again when the meat is heated to a high temperature and gives it that darkened crust on it. So there's things to think about, when you're eating this meat. So what about, whoop, I went too far here. What about plant protein? Let's talk about plant protein. Well, first and foremost, think about this is organic. That's a big deal these days. When you look at all of the things that are in our foods, uh, as we mentioned already, the growth hormones, the antibiotics, we've got the pesticides, we've got these other things that are formed in food processing. So when we've got a good plant source, we've got fermented rice in it. What does fermented rice do? It helps to restore that healthy intestinal flora, and it can help to prevent all kinds of GI ailments. Now, pea protein and quinoa, amazing proteins. Pea protein has all 9 of the essential of the 20 essential amino acids, and your body needs an essential amino acid. When it says it's an essential, it means your body can't make it. You've got to get it from food. So of the 20 essential fatty acids, 9 of them are really, really important. Um, Quinoa, on the other hand, is of course gluten free. It too is really high in protein, and it too has all 9 of the essential amino acids. Quinoa is high in fiber, it's high in vitamins and minerals, and also antioxidants. And as we go through this series, you're going to absolutely be able to talk about free radicals and antioxidants and what they do in the body and how they offset one another. Now, Lohan berry is also known as monk fruit, and that too is in the super organic or the organic super protein. This is a sweetener that's made from the extract of the Lohan berry. And this extract is 150 to 250 times sweeter than table sugar, but it has 0 calories, 0 carbs, and it doesn't raise that blood glucose level. So it's not going to mess with your blood sugar. So amazing stuff. Now, amaranth is also in this product. And amaranth has been associated with a number of health benefits, including things like reducing inflammation in the body, lowering cholesterol levels, and helping with weight loss. Millet in this product is has the ability to boost your liver and kidney functioning. Of course, something that we really need during detoxification, but it also assists with supporting a healthy gut flora, that good probiotic bacteria that we have in our guts. Horsetail is an antioxidant, and it helps to support our bone health. It promotes healing, especially of wounds. And it's also good for our hair growth and our nail growth. And bamboo has great levels of fiber, and it's a powerhouse of protein as well. Now, the amino acids, I want to describe amino acids. If you don't know, amino acids are little pieces of protein, and they make up proteins, and they play a really critical part in the functioning of your body. There are 20 amino acids or more, depending on who you listen to, but approximately 20 amino acids, and they make up all the proteins found in our body. They're needed for processes in our body, such as creating hormones or neurotransmitters. And again, the essential amino acids are something that we have to get from our diet. Now, there are several of these non-essential amino acids. They have a classification of their own. Some of them are conditionally essential. And for what that means is that under special circumstances, such as an illness or stress, you use up more of them. And so you become deficient. So even they're not classified as essential that you need to have in your diet, you can use up more of them in illness or in stress. So, for example, one of the amino acids is arginine. And if you don't have enough of this particular amino acid, your body can't meet the demands when fighting a certain disease, like cancer. Now, branched BCAAs, that's called a branched chain amino acid. And all that refers to is the structure of it. These we'll call them BCAAs. These BCAAs account for about 40% of the total amino acids that your body needs on a daily basis. So, of these 9 essential, the ones that we have to get from our diet, there are 3 of them that are called branched chain. And the first one is valine. And what this one does is it helps to stimulate muscle growth. It helps to regenerate tissue if you've been injured or had surgery or something like that. But it's also involved in energy production in the body. Now, a second one is called leucine, and this is critical for muscle repair. So you've worked out or you've overdone it, you need this muscle repair. The amino acid leucine can help with that. It also helps to regulate blood sugar levels and produce growth hormones in the body. Isoleucine, on the other hand, is heavily concentrated in our muscle tissue. It's also important to keep our immune system healthy and to give us energy. So, all of these things are really important and they're all in this product. So, the benefits of branched chain amino acids: increased muscle growth, which is great because we'll talk about what happens. Well, I'll tell you right now, it prevents something called sarcopenia. Sarcopenia is muscle wasting. And folks, it begins in the 5th decade of life. So if you've hit 50, you're already on track to losing more muscle mass. And then the body, even if you weigh the same that you weighed in high school, as you lose the muscle mass, it's replaced with fat if you're at that same weight. So what happens is we can't fit into the same clothes anymore because we're losing muscle and putting on fat. When you get these branched chain amino acids, they help to protect that muscle wasting, to kind of offset or prevent that sarcopenia. These amino acids can also help with muscle soreness after working out, or just me today with my granddaughter playing too roughly and my muscles get a little bit sore. The amino acids also help to reduce that exercise soreness afterward. Now let's look at MCTs. What is that? That stands for medium chain triglycerides. And a triglyceride is a type of fat. So the oil in this product is made up of medium chain triglycerides. And due to their length, they're called MCTs, they're very much more easily digested than these longer chain ones. It's most often extracted from coconut oil because more than 50% of the fat in coconut comes from these medium chain triglycerides. Now, what does it do? Why do we need these? Well, MCTs help to reduce what's called the bad cholesterol and increase your good cholesterol. These MCTs can help us with weight loss. They're a good energy source for us. They help to reduce that lactate buildup in athletes or just in people that exercise, that lactate in your muscles that makes you feel, kind of sore. So it helps to reduce that. It helps the body to use fats for energy and not protein or muscles. These MCTs can also fight yeast and bacterial growth in the body and help to manage your blood sugar. So, we're beginning to see how intricately designed these products are. They're just so impressive. And then, of course, we have these plant-based enzymes. And in general, animal proteins typically are more easily digested and absorbed than are the plant-based proteins. But when we add in these enzymes, which by the way, we're going to go into a whole story on enzymes next week to really get you to understand how they work, you'll be really impressed, as well as the plant-based omega-3 fatty acids. And again, we'll go into those into more depth next week, so you'll completely understand. I would love to teach you everything all in one evening, but folks, we would be here for about 15 hours. So we're going to just take it in little bits and pieces right now. Now, let me see, I've got to click my slide here. Oh, what's happening here? Oh, let me try this. All right, Craig, I'm not able to.
You should be able to click the arrow down on the bottom.
Yeah, I did that. And oh, there we go. Now it's happening. Sorry, folks. All right. You might have thought this is just a protein supplement, right? But just think of all the things I just told you that this food does for your body. And folks, I'm sure many of you already have amazing recipes for this, but if you've got a new person that you're teaching about this product, send them to the website. Have them get the calming mint recipe off the website. And if they are a new person, or even if you're an older person that's been with the company, you can download the PDF file. It's called the 10 tastiest green juices, and then just add your organic super protein to those shakes. Amazing. All right. Now, speaking of that super green juice, of course, it's got its 44 organic superfoods, but what I want to do is take a look at each one of those individually. But first, I don't want to forget these symbols that you're looking at the bottom of the slide. Of course, vegan is, I'm sure you're familiar with that. That is absolutely no animal products at all. So vegetarian can be a pesca vegetarian where they just eat fish, or they can be a lacto-ovo where they drink milk and use eggs, but vegan is only plant food. It's also non-genetically modified and non-GMO, which is really important because so many of our foods today have been genetically modified. They've been sprayed with Roundup, and that has a whole host of problems associated with it. Also, it's made in the USA. I like that. It's USDA organic. And remember, organic means that produce or plants are grown without the use of synthetic pesticides. They don't use fertilizers. They don't use sewage sludge. And yes, farmers do use that aren't organic. To be organic, it cannot be genetically modified. It cannot be have any ionizing radiation to the food either. Now, if it's an animal, animals that produce meat or dairy or eggs or poultry or anything like that, they are not given antibiotics or growth hormones. So it's a wonderful thing that you look at this, you should know. And the very last symbol there where it says US Org 050, this is something called Quality Assurance International Certified Organic. It was founded in 1989, and it's a kind of an equivalency agreement between the United States and the European Union. And as long as the operation is certified by the USDA or the European Union and one of their accrediting certifying agents, this arrangement eliminates the need for the US organic operations to have like a separate certification. So they're kind of working together. So that's not something that happens very often in products. So you should be quite proud of that as well. So why do we need to alkalize? Let's talk about that. Acid foods trigger inflammation and they slow our metabolism down. Now, although there are some exceptions to the rule, acid foods are typically meat, dairy, eggs, grains, and alcohol. Not to say that any of that is bad, that's just what creates acid in the body. The foods that are mostly alkaline are the plant foods, such as fruits and vegetables, nuts and legumes. So if you are not vegan, more than likely your diet is a little acidic. So it's always a great idea to assist the kidneys and create more of an alkaline environment in the body. And why do we need antioxidants? Well, when you regularly consume antioxidants, it'll help to boost your digestion. It helps with brain health. It helps to protect against cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, and what I like to call abnormal cell proliferation. Think about that. Abnormal cell growth in the body. That's a really great way of referring to a disease without having to use it and get in trouble with the FDA. So abnormal cell proliferation. Now we're going to talk more about antioxidants and free radical damage in these future webinars, but just as an example of an antioxidant, something called anthocyanins. And these are pigments that are red and purple and blue, such as found in berries. And these antioxidants help to protect the body against chronic diseases and conditions in the body. So we really need those antioxidants. Now, what does it mean when something is an adaptogenic? Well, that is a food or a plant that helps our body better handle and adapt to stress. So for instance, if you've got a stressful situation, but you're really feeling the stress, if you use adaptogenic foods or plants or herbs or whatever, it helps to calm the body down and adapt to the stress. So although the stress on the outside isn't going away, your reaction to the stress is much less. And that's a pretty good deal in today's world. So there's something in there called eleuthero root, which is also known as Siberian ginseng. It's not a true ginseng, but this particular plant in the super green juice increases your energy, it improves your cognitive function, help you to think better, and helps to enhance your exercise. Whereas the rhodiola rosea can help to decrease that stress and fatigue that you're feeling. Now, again, in a future webinar, we're going to be talking about focusing on brain and the nervous system. So you have a better understanding of all the body systems, how they work, why specific nutrients are so important, and of course, which Touchstone essential product is best for that body system. Now, mushrooms. Oh, I can't wait to tell you more and more about mushrooms, but just for tonight, we'll talk about how they support the immune system. They support that physical endurance, just endurance. So help to offset that fatigue that we sometimes feel. The mushrooms too give us that antioxidant support. They have naturally occurring vitamin D. So we don't have to take a fish oil product. Now, according to the research, there are a number of mushrooms in this particular product, and one of them is cordyceps. Now, according to the research, cordyceps boost our exercise performance. That means we're not going to fatigue as much and we're not going to get as tired. But also cordyceps possess what we call anti-aging properties. And that's both inside the body and outside. So I'm talking about, looking younger longer, but also having younger organs on the inside, which is equally as important, if not more. Cordyceps also has the potential to slow the growth of tumors. And this is from the scientific research that I'm quoting. And also, cordyceps help to manage type 2 diabetes. Now, the maitake mushroom has been shown to be effective against colds and viruses and flus and kind of boosts our immune function. And interestingly, these maitake mushrooms help to alleviate some of the side effects of, think of it as chronic disease therapies. Okay, so help to offset that. Shiitake mushrooms, on the other hand, have shown the ability to lower cholesterol, promote our bone health. And interestingly, the shiitake mushrooms have antibacterial, antiviral, and antifungal effects as well. Now, turkey tail, which is also in this product, enhances the efficiency of other medical treatments. So again, we're going to keep it clean, not get in trouble with the Food and Drug Administration, and we're just going to leave it at that. Turkey tail can enhance our gut health. It's got prebiotic fiber. So remember, the prebiotic fibers say, here, body, here's some food, make your own probiotics. Turkey tail in the research was shown to combat human papilloma virus, improve your athletic performance, strengthen the immune system. It too possesses antibacterial qualities, and it helps to improve insulin resistance, which we'll go into and talk more about that a little bit later. Now, tremella is another mushroom, helps to regulate our immune response. It stimulates white blood cells that help to kill bacteria. And tremella mushroom also helps to eliminate damaged cells and tissues from the body. Now, as we mentioned, it has 44 superfoods in this particular product, 3 grams of fiber, 3 grams of protein. I mix them together. I like them together. I like the protein and the super green juice together. It's just wonderful. And of course, for detoxification purposes in this product, we've got chlorella and spirulina. They're both algae. And what they do is they bind to heavy metals and aid in detoxification. And then as far as liver support goes, there's milk thistle in this product. And as early as the 1st century, the Romans were using milk thistle to protect the liver. Dandelion is also in there, and that has been an important part of traditional Chinese medicine for about 10,000 years. So, and again, enzymes, which we'll talk about very soon. So let's go on to, why am I having trouble tonight, Craig? This didn't, there we go. I guess I've got to click it 4 or 5 times. All right, boost, focus, fuel. As the slide indicates, it's going to give us energy, stamina, endurance, help us with focus, and interestingly, with weight management. And how? It can help to actually curb cravings and help with emotional healing. And I'm going to tell you how and why. How does this work? Well, let me tell you. The peel of the Garcinia fruit, it has high amounts of something called hydroxycitric acid, HCA. And that is the active ingredient responsible for most of the weight loss benefits in a product such as this. So it's the Garcinia. But studies have also found that cocoa helps to regulate the energy use and our metabolism and gives us that feeling of fullness. So now we've got something that is helping with weight loss. It's giving us that full feeling. And then we've got green coffee beans that help to block sugar absorption, help us to kind of regulate that blood sugar in our body, and again, promote that satiety. Oh, I'm so satisfied. I don't need to overeat. The green tea extract has something called thermogenic effects. And what that means is it heats the body up and it helps to burn more of that fat tissue. The green tea extract also inhibits fat absorption in the body. And then, of course, we have eleuthero root in there as the adaptogenic to help us with stress. It's always stressful, losing weight. And then the matcha green tea also has the ability to speed up our metabolism and help us to burn more calories and boost the fat burning in our body. And then lastly, the rhodiola rosea, that can help to decrease the fatigue. Sometimes when we're dieting and we don't eat enough, or we're tired, maybe we're depressed, we've got this foggy brain going on, we don't have any energy. The rhodiola rosea helps to decrease those feelings of fatigue and depression and help to improve that cognitive functioning. Now, aside from this, I just want to give you a few little tidbits and a good website to visit tonight. Research has linked sleep deprivation to a higher body mass index. It also has linked, sleep deprivation has also been linked to increased hunger and appetite. So folks, are you getting enough sleep if you're not successful with your weight loss program? And also, it's been suggested that if you're not sure whether you're hungry or thirsty, assume that you're thirsty and drink a large glass of water or tea or whatever and see how you feel afterward. And I want you to think too about dieting is usually a restriction. I can't have that. I can't have that. Mindfulness is enjoying food. Mindfulness. There's a wonderful website. It's Brian Wansink. It's all one word, Brian, Brian, Wansink, WANSINK.com. And he is all about mindfulness when we are eating. And what he says is we really have to develop new habits to create a healthier lifestyle. So what if we began our meal, we would pause for a moment and really try to come in tune with our body and ask yourself, are you eating for calorie needs or is it for an emotional need? Do you really need this food or you just like the way it tastes and smells? And what are your thoughts and feelings going through you at the moment that you are eating that food? And then next, observe the food itself. You've observed yourself. Now look at the food. Think about where it came from, what it's going to do for you. Eat with all of your senses. Just savor it, smell it, look at it. And what if you ate more slowly instead of inhaling it? What if you really enjoyed it? How long can you go before you take that first bite? And what if instead of taking 12 bites every minute, you only took 5? And what if instead of saying, I can't have that, you say, I can have it, but I choose not to eat it at this time. So it's more about mindfulness and also helping you with this weight management, I will say. So visit Brian Wansink. He has a brianwansink.com. He was formerly, I believe he was either at Cornell or at Harvard, and he was working in the nutrition department there. He has some really good information for you. So that's it for tonight's presentation. But next week, I want to go into more education on essentials. Like, what is that product all about? Wellspring. We're going to look at the Super Greens Plus D and the green energy. So I really hope you'll join us then. Thank you.
Cindy, thank you. As always, we appreciate you. Thank you for sharing your knowledge and your ideas with us. This is fantastic information that will benefit all of us. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being with us, and we'll see you next week. There's no break in between. We're going to be here on June 10th. So we'll see you next week. Thanks again, Cindy, and thanks, everybody. Good night.